Over 60? This one simple exercise could change your life. Watch this full video until the end. You might discover simple habits that can help improve your strength, mobility, and overall health after 60. If you are over 60 and you think walking is the only thing you need to stay strong, I want you to pause right here for just a moment, because what I'm about to share with you could quietly change the way you move, the way you feel, and even how long you stay independent. For years, we've been told that walking is enough. Just get your steps in and your health will take care of itself. And while walking is genuinely good for you, there is a growing body of research and real results from real people showing that there is one simple movement that does something walking simply cannot do. And almost no one over 60 is doing it. The truth is that this one movement can protect your bones, strengthen your upper body, safeguard you from the most dangerous kind of fall, and give you back a kind of quiet confidence that many people quietly lose as they age. And the best part is you don't need a gym membership. You don't need dumbbells, and you don't need to already be strong to begin. You just need a wall, a few minutes, and the right guidance. And today, that is exactly what I'm going to give you. Welcome to Health Prime Guide, my friend. If this is your first time here, this channel exists for one simple reason: to help you stay strong, steady, and independent using real, simple, and honest health guidance for life after 50. No gimmicks, no miracle pills, just movement that actually works. And if you're back with us again, thank you, truly, for trusting this channel with your time today. The topic we are covering right now is one that most fitness content completely ignores, and I really do encourage you to stay with me to the end, because not only will I show you the single movement that can change how your body ages, but I will also walk you through exactly how to do it safely, how to build it into your day, and how to adapt it even if you have shoulder pain, wrist discomfort, or very little strength right now. Let me ask you something, honestly. Have you ever tried to push open a heavy door and felt your arm shake a little? Have you ever reached to lift something onto a shelf and felt strangely weak, weaker than you remember being? Have you ever caught yourself stumbling and in that split second felt your arms simply weren't there to catch you? If any of that sounds familiar, you are far from alone. Millions of people over 60 walk every single day and still lose strength in their upper body without even realizing it until the moment they need it most. Here is the part almost nobody talks about. Walking does wonderful things for your heart and your legs, but it does almost nothing for your arms, your shoulders, your wrists, or your chest. And after 60, this matters far more than most people understand. Because when you fall, and statistics show that roughly 1 in 4 people over 65 will fall this year, it is not your legs that determine whether you break a bone. It is your arms. It is your wrists. It is whether your upper body has the strength to catch you, brace you, and slow you down before you hit the ground. This is something most doctors will quietly confirm but rarely explain in detail. The wrist is one of the most commonly broken bones in older adults, precisely because when we fall, our instinct is to throw our hands out to protect ourselves. But if the muscles, tendons, and bones in our arms and wrists have grown weak from years of sitting and walking alone, that protective reflex can turn into a serious injury instead of a safe landing. And that brings us to the one exercise that can genuinely change your life after 60. That exercise is the humble, gentle, and remarkably powerful wall push-up. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pressing your body weight against a wall, done the right way, is one of the most underrated strength exercises for people over 60 on the entire planet. It may look almost too simple to matter, but it activates your chest, your shoulders, your triceps, your core, and your wrists all at once in a way that is completely joint-friendly and endlessly adjustable to your current ability. Unlike walking, which mostly leaves your upper body untouched, the wall push-up does something walking never can. It teaches your arms to bear weight again. It teaches your wrists to hold pressure again. It teaches your chest and shoulders to push against resistance again. And these are exactly the qualities your body needs the moment you stumble, the moment you need to catch yourself on a railing, or the moment you need to push yourself up out of a low chair using your arms instead of straining your back. Let me paint a picture for you. Every time you press your palms into a wall and push your body weight backward, you are asking your upper body to do real work against resistance, something it rarely gets to do in ordinary daily life. Walking, by comparison, asks nothing of your arms at all. This is exactly why someone can walk 5 miles a week and still struggle to push themselves up from the floor, or open a stubborn jar, or carry a full laundry basket without their arms trembling by the end. Now, before you think, my shoulders already ache, this isn't for me, or I've never been an exercise person, I can't do push-ups, let me gently reassure you. The wall push-up is one of the safest strength movements that exists, specifically because it removes almost all the pressure that a floor push-up would put on your wrists, shoulders, and lower back. You are standing the entire time. You control the angle. You control the depth, and the wall is always right there, solid and supportive, the entire time you're moving. Here's exactly how to do it safely. Stand facing a sturdy wall, about arm's length away, maybe a little closer if you're just starting out. Place your palms flat against the wall at roughly shoulder height and slightly wider than your shoulders. Keep your feet planted, your body in one long, gentle line from head to heels. Not stiff, just steady. Slowly bend your elbows and lean your chest toward the wall under control, breathing in as you go. Then press firmly through your palms and push your body back to the starting position, breathing out as you press. That is 1 repetition. If that feels too challenging at first, simply stand a little closer to the wall, which reduces the amount of body weight you're pressing against. As you build strength over the coming weeks, you can slowly step your feet a little farther back, which increases the challenge naturally, with 0 extra equipment required. Now, let me tell you something that genuinely surprises most people. Researchers who study fall prevention in older adults have found that upper body strength, particularly the ability to push and brace with your arms, is one of the most reliable predictors of whether a fall results in a minor bruise or serious fracture. 2 people can fall in exactly the same way, and the one with stronger arms, shoulders, and wrists very often walks away with far less damage. That is how quietly powerful this kind of strength really is. But the benefits of this movement don't stop at fall protection. When you regularly press your body weight against resistance like this, you are also placing gentle, weight-bearing stress through your wrists, forearms, and shoulder joints. And weight-bearing stress is one of the most important signals your bones can receive. Bone, just like muscle, responds to demand. When you ask it to bear a little more load, it slowly, safely rebuilds itself to become a little denser and a little stronger. This matters enormously after 60, when bone density naturally begins to decline, especially for women after menopause. Wall push-ups give your upper body bones a reason to stay strong, without any pounding or high impact at all. And here is something else worth pausing on. When your chest, shoulders, and upper back grow stronger, your posture changes too. So many people over 60 quietly develop a slight forward hunch, shoulders rounding in, chest caving slightly. This isn't just about how you look, it actually affects your breathing capacity, your balance, and even your confidence when you walk into a room. Strengthening the muscles across your chest and upper back through movements like this one gently pulls your posture back into a taller, more open position, which can make an enormous difference in how capable and confident you feel in your own body. Let's also talk about your grip and your wrists specifically, because this is something walking will never ever address. Every time you press into the wall, your wrists are learning to bear weight safely. This is exactly the same skill you rely on when you push yourself up from a chair using the armrests, when you steady yourself on a countertop, or when you catch the edge of a table if you feel yourself losing balance. A weak wrist in a moment like that can mean the difference between a small scare and a fracture that changes your life for months. A trained wrist, one that has practiced bearing weight regularly, responds instantly and protectively, almost without you having to think about it. Now you may be wondering, how often should I do this, and how many repetitions should I start with? The answer, just like with any good habit, is to start exactly where you are. For some of you, that might be 5 repetitions. For others, it might be 8 or 10. The goal is never to push into pain, it is simply to feel your muscles working, gently, honestly, with control. Aim to do this 3 to 5 times a week. And as the weeks go by, you'll naturally find yourself able to do a few more repetitions. Hold each repetition just a touch slower, which makes the exercise even more effective without adding a single piece of equipment. I want to share something deeply encouraging with you. I have seen people in their late 60s and even their 80s who could not push open a heavy glass door without using their entire body weight to lean into it. And after just a few weeks of practicing wall push-ups consistently, a few minutes a day, nothing extreme, they were opening doors with one hand, carrying grocery bags without discomfort, and pushing themselves up from low chairs and sofas with a steadiness they hadn't felt in years. This is not about becoming a bodybuilder. This is about reclaiming the small, quiet freedoms that upper body strength gives back to you. Of course, walking still absolutely deserves its place in your routine. It remains wonderful for your heart, your circulation, your mood, and your overall energy. But if walking is the only movement in your week, you are leaving an entire half of your body untrained. And that half happens to be the one most responsible for protecting you when things don't go as planned. Strong legs will help you avoid a fall, but strong arms, strong wrists, and a strong chest are very often what determine what happens the moment a fall actually occurs. That is exactly why this one simple exercise deserves a place in your life, right alongside your daily walk, not instead of it. Now, let's be clear and responsible here, because your safety always comes first. If you have a shoulder injury, a recent fracture, significant wrist arthritis, or any serious medical condition, please speak with your doctor or a physical therapist before beginning any new movement routine. This video is meant to inform and guide you, not to replace personalized medical advice. Mild muscle fatigue afterward is completely normal. Sharp pain in your wrist, your shoulder, or anywhere else is never something to push through. As we go further into this video, I'm going to show you a few gentle variations that make this exercise even more effective, how to combine it thoughtfully with your walking routine for the most complete results, and how just a few minutes a day, done consistently, can genuinely change the way your upper body feels within the next month. You won't want to miss what's coming. Before we continue, if what you've heard so far is resonating with you, take 1 second to tap the like button. It genuinely helps this channel reach more people who need exactly this kind of honest, practical guidance. And if you'd like more simple, science-informed health and fitness guidance built specifically for strong, independent living, after 50, go ahead and subscribe to Health Prime Guide and turn on notifications so you never miss what's coming next. Now, take a breath with me for a moment. Let your shoulders drop. And remember this, your body has not forgotten how to be strong. It has simply been waiting for the right kind of signal. And today, we're going to give it exactly that. Let's go a little deeper now, because I want you to fully understand why this one simple movement against a wall carries so much more weight, quite literally, than most people ever realize. After the age of 60, your body undergoes changes that are simply part of being human. Bone density gradually declines. Tendons and connective tissue lose some of their natural elasticity. Muscle fibers, especially the fast, powerful ones your body relies on for quick, protective movements like catching yourself, begin to shrink first if they aren't regularly asked to work. None of this is a sign of failure. It is simply biology. But here's the part that almost nobody tells you clearly enough. Your bones and muscles can still respond to demand at 60, at 70, and even at 80. The response may be a little slower than it once was, but it is absolutely still there, waiting to be activated. The wall push-up speaks directly to this. Every single time you press your palms into that wall and push your body weight through your arms, you are sending your bones and muscles a clear, unmistakable signal. This says, we are still needed, we still have to bear weight, we still have to protect this body. And your body listens. It slowly begins reinforcing the bone in your wrists and forearms, strengthening the tendons around your shoulders, and rebuilding the nerve-to-muscle connections that control quick, protective reactions. The very same reactions you rely on if you ever begin to lose your balance. I want you to picture something for a moment. Imagine reaching up to a high shelf without a flicker of hesitation. Imagine catching yourself on a railing with steady, immediate strength if your foot ever slips on a step. Imagine pushing yourself up off the couch using just your arms, smoothly, without that familiar grunt and struggle. These aren't distant fantasies. They are the very real, very achievable outcomes of building just a little more strength across your chest, shoulders, and arms. And this one simple exercise trains exactly that, in the safest way possible. Now, let's talk honestly about something that quietly shapes the lives of so many people over 60, and that is fear. Fear of falling, fear of reaching too high, fear of pushing a heavy door and feeling unsteady in the process. This fear is rarely spoken about out loud, but it changes behavior in enormous ways. People quietly stop reaching for the top shelf. They quietly ask others to open jars or move furniture. They quietly shrink the range of what their body is allowed to do. And the less the body is asked to do, the weaker it becomes, which only deepens the fear. It becomes a slow, quiet cycle. Wall push-ups interrupt that cycle in the gentlest way imaginable. Every single repetition is a small, safe rehearsal of exactly the strength your body needs to protect itself in the real world. And with every rep, your confidence rebuilds itself right alongside your strength. Let's talk about why this movement is so gentle on your joints when it's done correctly. Because you are standing upright and adjusting your distance from the wall, you control precisely how much of your body weight you're pressing against at any given time. This is entirely different from a floor push-up, which can place significant strain on the wrists and lower back, or from lifting heavy weights, which can jolt the shoulder joints if the form isn't precise. With the wall push-up, the resistance builds slowly, predictably, and safely, exactly the kind of gentle, steady load that aging joints and bones respond to best. Now, I know some of you listening might be thinking, that sounds fine, but my shoulder already clicks when I move it, or my wrist has been achy for years, or I haven't done anything like this in decades. These concerns are completely valid, and I want you to know your body's history does not have to dictate its future. If your shoulder is sensitive, simply reduce how far you lean toward the wall. If your wrist feels weak, start with your hands a little higher on the wall, which reduces the pressure through your wrist joint. If you've been inactive for years, 3 repetitions is a completely legitimate place to begin. The power here is never in doing a lot all at once. The power is in showing up consistently. Consistency, not intensity, is what quietly transforms the body over time. Let's talk about breathing, because this small detail makes a real difference in how effective and how safe this movement feels. As you lean your chest toward the wall, breathe in gently through your nose. As you press yourself back to standing, breathe out through your mouth. This breathing rhythm helps stabilize your core, supports healthy blood pressure through the movement, and helps you avoid that lightheaded feeling some people notice when they hold their breath during effort. One of the easiest ways to make this habit stick is to attach it to something you already do every single day. You might do a set of wall push-ups right by the kitchen counter while your coffee brews. You might do them by the bathroom wall right after you brush your teeth. You might do them during a commercial break, standing right there in your living room. When a new movement gets stitched into something you already do automatically, it very quickly stops feeling like a chore and starts feeling like a simply part of your day. There's also a quieter, emotional layer to this that deserves to be said out loud. As we get older, so many people describe a slow, subtle shrinking of their world. Certain tasks start to feel too heavy, certain movements start to feel a little too risky, and little by little, without ever making a conscious decision about it, life becomes smaller and more cautious. Rebuilding physical strength has a remarkable way of reversing that shrinking. When your arms feel capable again, when you trust your own grip and your own push again, something shifts in how willing you feel to reach further, to try new things, to move through the world with a little less hesitation. Physical strength and emotional confidence are far more connected than most people ever realize. Let me offer you a simple way to progress this movement once your body starts to feel more comfortable with it, usually after a few consistent weeks. You still won't need any equipment at all. Simply slow down the lean toward the wall, taking a full 3 seconds to lower your chest in instead of moving quickly. This slower, controlled tempo creates a much stronger training effect for your muscles and your joint control, while remaining every bit as safe as the original movement. Another gentle way to progress is to pause for 1 full second at the point closest to the wall before pressing back out. That small pause asks your muscles to work noticeably harder, and over time, that small addition creates real, visible strength. Now, let's bring walking back into this conversation, because the two movements truly complement each other beautifully. Walking remains wonderful for your heart, your lungs, your circulation, and your mental clarity. But think of walking as nourishment for your heart, and wall push-ups as nourishment for your upper body, your bones, and your protective reflexes. Together, they form a far more complete approach to healthy, independent aging than either one alone. If you're already walking regularly, simply add a few minutes of wall push-ups before or after your walk. And within a matter of weeks, you'll likely notice a real difference. Steadier reaching, easier lifting, less fatigue in your arms by the end of the day, and a quiet new confidence in how your upper body feels. I want to take a moment to remind you gently of something important. You are not fragile. You are not too old. You're not starting too late. Your body remains adaptive and intelligent, and it genuinely wants to rebuild and grow stronger. But it can only respond to the signals you actually give it. And this one simple, wall-supported movement tells your body, clearly and consistently, that strength is still needed here. If you're feeling discouraged about your health right now, I want to speak directly to you for a moment. Maybe you've tried exercise before and it didn't stick. Maybe pain got in the way. Maybe life simply became too busy or too heavy or too uncertain. None of that has to define what happens next. Your next step doesn't need to be dramatic. It can be as simple as standing in front of a wall today and doing 5 slow, careful repetitions with your full attention. Real progress is rarely built from big, dramatic actions. It is built from small, quiet decisions, repeated day after day. As you keep practicing this movement, you may notice small changes before you notice any big ones. You might find a heavy door doesn't feel quite as heavy. You might reach for something on a high shelf without that flicker of hesitation. You might notice your arms don't shake quite as much when you carry something a little heavier than usual. These small signals matter enormously. They are proof that your body is listening and responding exactly the way it was designed to. In the next part of this series, I'll walk you through how to turn this single movement into a complete, well-rounded upper body and balanced routine you can do in just a few minutes a day, entirely at home, without ever getting down onto the floor. I'll also share the one common mistake that quietly stalls people's progress with this exercise, and exactly how to avoid it so you're not wasting effort without realizing it. But before we get there, I'd genuinely love to hear from you. In the comments below, tell me your age and let me know honestly, is your current routine mostly walking? Or do you already include some form of strength work like this in your week? I read every comment, and your answers genuinely help shape the videos this community needs next. And if this video has given you a new way of thinking about your own strength, if it's given you a little bit of hope about what's still possible for your body, I would love for you to subscribe to Health Prime Guide and become part of this growing community built around strong, confident, independent aging. And if you found this helpful, take a moment to tap that like button. It truly helps this message reach more people who need to hear it today. Take one more breath with me. Relax your jaw, drop your shoulders. And remember, your strength has not disappeared. It has simply been waiting for you to ask it to come back. We'll continue building on exactly that in the next part of this series, and I promise, what's coming will make all of this even easier to bring into your everyday life.